Nebraska has an absolutely massive recruiting weekend on their hands. The Huskers are hosting multiple 4-star and borderline 5-star prospects on campus, and finally, some 2026 flip targets. So in today's video, I'm going to go over every single player visiting, who these guys are, what they bring to the table, their interest in the Huskers, what other schools are in the mix, everything you need to know about them, and then when it's all said and done, whether or not they will commit to the Big Red, and then some big-time updates from these past couple hours. The Matt Rhule to Penn State rumors just took a huge twist with a leaked message from a Penn State insider. I'll give you my instant reaction, what was said, my preview of every single Big Ten game tomorrow, their implications toward Nebraska, and so much more. So really quick, this is a loaded update. If you're having a good Friday, because I know I am, hit that like button. And also, we are 20 subscribers away from 14,000. We are almost there. Listen, if you're a diehard Husker fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for daily contact in Nebraska? It's no brainer. It takes 2 seconds. Join the family. Help us hit 14K. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. I want to get things started with Nebraska's loaded recruiting weekend. The Huskers are hosting multiple 4-star, borderline 5-stars, and finally, some 2026 flip targets. I mean, let's just start things off with the class of 26, because we know as it stands, Nebraska, we only have 12 total commits. We are 1 month away until sign day, and the Huskers, they rapidly need to get some players in this class, and they are about to do exactly that. I mean, let's start things off with a player who we've been waiting to visit over these past couple months. This is a 4-star safety coming out of Miami, Florida. Currently committed to Florida State. You already know who this is, Demitrius Hughes. Now, he was supposed to visit for the Akron game. He pushed it back. He was supposed to visit for the Michigan game. He pushed it back, but he will officially be visiting Nebraska versus Northwestern. Now, Demitrius Hughes, he's been committed to Florida State for about a year now, but let's be very honest, he's not going to stay with Florida State. That is a sinking ship. They've lost 4 consecutive games. Every single Seminole fan, they want Mike Norvell fired, along with Terrence Knighton, Tony White, Evan Cooper, a lot of coaches who we're familiar with. They're going to need jobs in just a couple months because it is going to be an overhaul down there in Tallahassee. So Demitrius Hughes, he's been visiting other programs, whether it's Syracuse, he's probably not going to go there anymore. He's Colorado, probably not going to go there anymore either. And he's down to Nebraska and Miami. And we'll get back to that. But talking a little bit about Demitrius Hughes, why I'm incredibly high on him. He's about as good as it gets. He's coming out of Miami, Florida, an area that just breeds players in the secondary who are incredibly talented. He's 6'3", 180, has speed, he has size, he has explosiveness. He can go up and get jump balls, interceptions. He's a hard hitter. He has positional versatility. He can play corner, nickel, free safety, strong safety. He can play in the box. He checks every single box. And, talking about his interest in Nebraska, there's a couple of things really working in the Huskers' favor. Why I believe Nebraska right now is the odds-on favorite to land him. Number one, has a great relationship with his coaching staff. We know that the Flow Nebraska connection is back, thanks to Philip Simpson and Addison Williams, along with John Butler helping out as well. So he has a great relationship with pretty much every single member of the staff. The NIL money is definitely right. He is good friends with Danny Odom, who's a current Nebraska commit 4-star, also coming out of Florida, who will also be visiting Nebraska versus Northwestern, trying to peer recruit him. And last but not least, the thing around Demitrius Hughes, if he comes here, he can probably play right away, because this secondary is going to be wide open next season. We lose almost everybody, right? We lose a bunch of players to graduation. There's going to be a lot of unexpected players who leave in the portal. That's just the sport nowadays. I know for a fact that Danny Odom's going to be in the mix to start. That's how good Danny is. Demitrius Hughes is almost as good. So Demitrius probably will be in the mix to start, if not play significantly as a true freshman. So again, Demitrius Hughes will finally be visiting Nebraska versus Northwestern. I think things will move pretty quickly here. After he visits, he'll probably commit to the Huskers within these next 2 weeks, at least by sign day. So some good news around Demitrius. Then getting into one of my favorite players in the class of 26 who will be visiting Nebraska as well versus Northwestern. This is Demond Lewis, 6'4", 250, defensive lineman coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. The days of us not having any D-line commit are about to be over. Now, Damian Lewis, man, I mean, what's not to like? He's a late bloomer type of prospect where, if he was playing like he is right now in his junior campaign or his sophomore campaign, he'd probably be a 4-star, if not a 5-star prospect. He's been blown up, getting every single offer you can imagine. He's somebody with great speed, great explosiveness. When he gets the quarterback with his lethal swim move, he wants to hurt the quarterback. He not only wants to bring the quarterback down, but he wants to hurt him. And that's what the best defensive linemen have. They have that mindset, very similar to Ndamukong Suh. So Demond Lewis, great relationship with the staff. Again, Matt Rhule was the coach under Demond Lewis's brother, Damian Lewis, down at Carolina. So the entire family is very familiar with Matt Rhule. They want Demond to also play for Matt at Nebraska. The NIL money's right, the playing time's right, and I do think he'll commit to Nebraska when it's all said and done. Then going on to a couple other 26 visitors who you need to know. These are a couple interesting cases. Juju Johnson, who is a running back coming out of Farrell, Pennsylvania, will be visiting Nebraska versus Northwestern. The Huskers have an offer on the table. He has no other offer around America. What's interesting about Juju Johnson is Nebraska's basically offering him to be a walk-on. They're not going to give him a scholarship. They're not going to give him any NIL money. They're saying, hey, we have a spot for you on this roster. We want you to be a part of this team, but that's pretty much just about it. You know, Juju Johnson, he went to the same high school that Danny Odom used to go to down there in Farrell. He's incredibly talented. I want to show you this one clip that I saw just a couple minutes ago before we hopped on this video. Here's Juju Johnson just a couple weeks ago breaking every single tackle. You see the run after contact. You see the speed. You see the explosiveness. He has a nice build on him. You know he's tough coming out of the East Coast. So, yeah, I mean, just watch out for this name. He's a hard worker. It's going to be kind of a very similar situation to Kent Williams, where we offered Kent Williams with the same deal as kind of a walk-on package, and Kent earned a scholarship within the second year. Could be a very similar thing here with Juju. So, again, it's not the same thing as a walk-on, right? Again, walk-ons are pretty much dead. But, again, it's the same the same philosophy where, and again, no scholarship, no NIL money, and you're just going to earn it over your years here. So Juju Johnson probably will be committing to Nebraska very soon at the running back spot. Then in the same grain, we have Jamari Brown, who I think this is pretty much the same situation where he camped in Nebraska a couple months ago. I was a big fan of Jamari Brown. You know, I tweeted this out back in May. Keep an eye on this prospect because I was a big fan. He's 5'11". He's very physical, really good route runner, high upside, has some decent speed to him. He'll be visiting Nebraska. So I don't know for a fact whether the Huskers have a very similar offer like they do for Juju Johnson. I mean, they probably do, but he'll be visiting Nebraska. So just watch out for this name. And then getting to all the 2027 visitors, because there are a lot of them, and there are a lot of good ones. I mean, you got to get things started with a borderline 5-star. This is Kwinten Hale coming out of Los Angeles, California, 6'3", 180, every offer you can imagine. I mean, USC's in there as you'd expect, along with Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas A&M, incredibly physical and go get jump balls. He's a great blocker. I do believe he visited Nebraska for that 77 tournament back in June, but this will be his first real visit. So Kwinten Hale, just watch out for this name. I mean, he's about as good as it gets, right? And also, Trey Taylor will be visiting Nebraska for the Northwestern game as well. So, again, you can imagine that Trey Taylor's going to be peer recruiting him that entire time, trying to get him on another visit. So, Kwinten Hale, watch out for him. Very talented receiver out of L.A. And also, another borderline 5-star wide receiver who just recently decommitted from Penn State. This is Khalil Taylor, 5'11", 180, one of the fastest players in America. But I wouldn't say he's only fast. He's speedy, he's quick. He's one of those guys who not only has a track speed, but he can go from 0 to 100 in a split second. He reminds me a lot of Ryan Williams, where, you know, Ryan Williams has great contact balance. He'll get hit and he'll spin you out. He'll do a juke move. He'll break a tackle when needed. You just cannot bring Ryan Williams down. Khalil Taylor is very similar. He has positional versatility. He can play in the slot. He can play out wide. He can be in the backfield. You can put him on jet sweeps. You can put him out wildcat. You can do whatever you want with him. He's incredibly talented. So Nebraska, we've been in contact ever since he decommitted from Penn State. Watch out for this name because, again, I think the Huskers right now are definitely in that top 3, if not the top 2, to land him. Then a couple other 27 visitors. 4-star linebacker Gabe Jenkins will be visiting, also recently decommitted from Penn State. Incredibly explosive, good speed. Reminds me of Terrell Farley, at 6'1", 190. So some good offers there. Gabe Jenkins will be visiting the Huskers. Amir Brown, who just recently decommitted from North Carolina, very physical, big-time bruising running back in the class 27, will be visiting the Huskers. Again, he's 5'11", 200, bunch of good offers. Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame. I mean, just go down the list. You got Georgia in here, Texas A&M, Michigan. I mean, he's about as good as it gets. So he'll be in town for Northwestern. You got an offensive lineman coming out of Tennessee. I'm not even gonna try in the last name. I'm gonna butcher it badly. But you got Princeton, again, really high upside tackle, really good in the pass pro for Mozee, and Nebraska and Tennessee in the mix. Savion Miller, who's a player that you need to know. He's out of our backyard, coming out of Iowa. Another physical running back out of Iowa City, 5'10", 180. Gets really good stats to his name. Can break tackles. Nebraska is interested. We do have an offer on the table. Oh, no, excuse me. We don't have an offer on the table, but I believe the Huskers might move quickly. I mean, Miami's there. If Miami's offered this kid, yeah, Nebraska probably will very soon. And then one more. This is a borderline 4-star defensive lineman in class 27. Jaden Travers will be visiting the Huskers for the first time coming out of Baltimore, along with a couple other players who are 3 stars and a couple others in the class of 28 who we're not going to really go over. But again, there's just a bunch of big-time players who will be visiting versus Northwestern. All right. That was everybody. In a short amount of time, let's get to the other news from today. I wanted to put this on your radar. A lot of Husker fans wanted me to react to this. This was a leaked message from a Penn State insider at 24/7. This was leaked all over Twitter, and they're basically talking about Matt Rhule and, of course, the interest to Penn State. I feel like all the rumors have really gone out the window ever since we lost to Minnesota, but they're still very live. Penn State's still very interested, and there is still a chance. I've told you guys, I do think that Matt Rhule wants to stay at Nebraska in his heart of hearts. He's trying to leverage for more money for his players and his team, and also for himself. But, if he continues to lose, he might change his mind, right? Again, just because he wants to stay in Nebraska now doesn't mean he wants to stay in Nebraska in a month. Okay, and this was leaked by a Penn State insider. He said that there were multiple board of trustee members who support the hire of Matt Rhule, and they want him back in State College as the next Nittany Lions leader. So again, this is not shocking. He has so many connections to Penn State. Multiple, again, big-time people within that university want him to return, whether it's Pat Kraft, whether it's the board of trustees who really make the decisions. So again, it's going to be a wild couple months. It's going to be wild up until late November. And I think a lot of Nebraska fans at this point, if we continue to lose, they won't even be mad if Matt Rhule lost, or if Matt Rhule left. My take has always been the same. I want Matt Rhule to stay. Even if we end this year 6-6, I want him to stay because we need continuity here. We can't get a new coach every other year. That's not going to mean anything good for this program. So again, it's important for me for Nebraska to keep Matt Rhule even if we struggle. But listen, if we do struggle, I think there's going to be a lot of Nebraska to try to push him out the door, and he could be more inclined to leave if the Husker fans are kind of revolting against him, which could likely happen. So just wanted to put that on your radar. Definitely let me know your thoughts down below. And then going over every single Big Ten game tomorrow, their implications toward Nebraska. You got to start things off with the 11 o'clock spot. We played 11, but we also have some other games at 11. UCLA versus Indiana. I'll be watching this one. Okay, UCLA, they've won 3 consecutive games. They're pretty much 3-0 ever since they fired their coach. We played them in 2 weeks. If they even give Indiana a little bit of trouble, man, that's going to be a tough game for us. It's still going to be a tough game no matter what, but yeah, I do think there's a lot of people who are saying UCLA could upset Indiana. We'll see. They got talent. It's never a talent issue with UCLA, so I'll be watching that one, but I do expect Indiana to roll them just because Indiana, they're better coached, and still they have more talent than UCLA, despite UCLA having a lot of players. Minnesota versus Iowa is going to be incredibly interesting for me because, again, we got blown out versus Minnesota. If Iowa imposes their will and Iowa beats them by a couple touchdowns, it's not a good sign for us. That means we're going to lose to Iowa. Because, again, Iowa has our number just like Minnesota does. They're incredibly physical. They can run the football. If Minnesota beat us that badly, I don't know. I don't even want to know what Iowa's going to do to us unless we improve rapidly in a short amount of time. Wisconsin plays Oregon. Yeah, we know what's going to happen there. We know what's going to happen. Luke Fickell has to be fired. He just has to be. He's burning Wisconsin to the ground. That's a proud program. That's a proud program. And he burned them to the ground. Yeah, they're going to lose by 50. Illinois plays Washington. That's actually a really good game. It's actually a really, really good game. I'll be watching that one for sure. I can't believe it's on BTN. That should be on national television. That's going to be a heck of a ball game. I think I got Illinois in that one, but Washington, their quarterback, he's talented. And then also, of course, our game, Nebraska versus Northwestern. Of course, I had my prediction. It was a bold one. It was my boldest prediction of the year. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm getting a lot of backlash for it, so make sure to watch my video posted earlier today. Again, I just know this. It's going to be a sloppy ball game. It's going to be tight. And I don't think it is a reach to say this is the most important game of Matt Rhule's tenure. I can't remember who said it. There was another content creator who said it, and I agreed with him. If we lose this ball game, how can you say that Nebraska's made any progress within 3 years with Matt Rhule? How can you say that if we lose this game? If we lose against Northwestern, we have made 0 progress in 3 seasons. And they're not wrong. So this is a big game for Matt Rhule to prove himself. Say, hey, you know what? We're way more talented than Northwestern. We had a one-off game versus Minnesota. It happens. We're going to learn from it. We're not looking back, and we're going to go crush Northwestern. We're not only going to beat Northwestern, we're going to crush them. And we're going to salvage what's left of the season, hopefully make a run as the year progresses. So again, make sure to watch my prediction video if you haven't already. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts about everything, the recruiting weekend, the Penn State stuff, the games tomorrow. Again, reminder, we will be live right after the game tomorrow at 2:30, right when the game's over. We will be live talking about win or loss. So make sure to be here on WilsonDittman Sports. We might have a pregame video. I don't know. It's an 11 o'clock game, so we might have a video that gets released really early in the morning. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. But again, let me know your thoughts down below about everything. All right, go Big Red, go let roll. I will see you tomorrow in the big time post-game live.